As you all know, I do sell the watches that I review on eBay, simply because I buy the watches for my own money and I need to get my dosh back somehow. But it's not always a success story. Sometimes I make a bit of money from the sales and sometimes I don't. Well, today we'll be discussing 6 of the last watches that I've sold on eBay. So that happened just in the previous month. So we'll be talking about 3 Addiesdive watches, 2 Tandorio watches and 1 Duka automatic diver. So all of these watches I will be including the VAT into the purchase price just to make it, a good comparable number, and I will be mentioning the amount for which I sold it for. But from that amount I will not be deducting the eBay fee of 12.8%. If you did find any of these watches interesting in any sort of way, well, I've left the links to all of them in the description below the video, so check them out if you're after some sharp prices. Let's get in and talk about these 6 watches and how well I did with selling them. Let's do it. First up, let's talk about the AD2054. This is an Addiesdive and it's a gorgeous daily beater. I purchased it on AliExpress with VAT for $42 and sold it for $41 on eBay. And that gave me a loss of $1 before any eBay fees. The Addiesdive AD2054 is a thought follower from the MYH3. A $35 bombshell, following a subby-inspired look with a typical wide stance, brushed surfaces mixed in with the polished tall flanks. You get a 3-linked brushed 316L stainless steel bracelet. The case is also solid stainless steel. Considering a screw-in crown and the screw-down case back, the timepiece features 200 meters of water resistance. Now this is the kind of watch that we want to see as the daily wearer. This is a real daily beater, except for the fact that it gets mineral crystal. It gets amazing luminosity because it's an Addiesdive. And as we know, Addiesdives, be it for $30, $50 or $100, the luminosity is absolutely on point. It's really good. It's comparable to, well, probably not San Martin quality, well, for longevity, but definitely it does compare to steel dives really well. For number 2, let's talk about the Addiesdive 2026, and this is a GS homage, and a beautiful homage at that. I bought this classy act for a very budget price of $45, but sold it for just $47, giving me a profit of $2 before the eBay fees. We get a 37mm diameter. This is a great watch. We get inverted end links for that minimal lug to lug length. We get stainless steel on the case, on the bracelet. When you look at the profile, you can see how elegant it is. We get a boxed sapphire crystal. A boxed sapphire crystal. That is absolutely amazing. So at this very budget price point, we are getting a retro inspired yet a contemporary design for something that can be cherished and will be cherished, and it can make it through as a daily beater, as a daily wearer. The color of the dial makes it a very unique shade, so it gets the yellowish beige tone, and that is classy in itself and yet quite assertive because it does grab some attention. And when you get attention to your wrist with this watch on there, it's so easy to tell a story about this watch. The crystal quality is very good. There are hardly any edge distortions. So when you look from the sides, everything is crystal clear. The mix of brushed and polished surfaces creates joyful light play. It's not overwhelming and blingy, but interesting and captivating. Of course, we get a signed screw-in crown, a medium size with fine notchy threading for convenient rotation. The screw-down case back gets a fluted decoration, and I love it. Everything about this watch is classic and classy. At number 3, let's touch upon the AD2034. So this is a 42mm Addiesdive Quartz Panda chronograph that I happily paid for $76 on AliExpress. Yet I sold it for just $38 before any eBay fees, making me lose half the price. A quartz, a mecha quartz chronograph watch, and this is a Panda design. It's got that vintage look about it. It's got a dome sapphire crystal, and the dome is really severe. it's got a really good bezel. Now, there is a bit of backplate, but it's nothing major. It's still very sharp, it's very precise, it's quite loud as well, and it's very usable. Heavy resistance. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 42 millimeters, a lug-to-lug length of just 48 millimeters due to the inverted end links. We get a height of 15.2 millimeters, but that is mostly due to the severely domed sapphire crystal. We get a lug width of 20 millimeters at the head, tapering down to 16 at the clasp, and a weight of 165 grams. This is a big piece. Now, it is quite symbolic, but if you do prefer the larger sizes or you've got a larger wrist size, this could be the perfect fit. Now, this is a 200-meter water-resistant watch. The screw and crown is significant and large. It's got 7 millimeters in diameter, flanked by the chronograph pushers, and these pushers are quite retro in design. Looking at the profile, we can see the severe arching of the flank. For number 4, let's talk about a Tandorio field watch, and this was a true bargain buy, $56 for so much value. And all I got paid on eBay is $35, resulting in a $21 loss. Standout features include sapphire crystal, covering a vast array of dial options, from radially fading blue, gray, red, green, and even caramel browns. It fades to black at the rehaut. Astounding pricing really, considering it's a fully stainless steel construction. Screw and crown and screw down case back as a given on the Tandorio watch. Also powered by Seiko NH35 with the 24 joules and 42 hours of power reserve. The watch is also 200 meters water resistant. At number 5, let's touch upon a California dial Tandorio, and this is an automatic watch. I absolutely love this little gem. This watch cost me $52 with VAT on AliExpress, but I managed to sell it for just $38, resulting in a loss of $14. It's an automatic piece. It's a dependable Seiko NH35 self-winding automatic movement. It gets sapphire crystal. There is anti-reflective treatment. Plus, the sizing, it's so robust. This is a very nimble piece, yet because of that very original and symmetrical, strict shape or the design of the watch, of the case, it's amazing. There are no polished surfaces. This is completely brushed. It's so utilitarian. It's so severe. Now, if I could actually compare this watch to anything else I've had on this channel in the last 180 videos that I've done, I would say the Benrus Type 1 homage from San Martin was the closest competitor. But that San Martin SN0123 cost me $130 on a big discount. This watch without any discount will set you back $45, 3 times cheaper. The surprise came with the Duka Watch. Can you believe it? So I paid $42 with VAT on AliExpress, but managed to sell this watch for $57, giving me a net profit of $15. Of course, that's without deducting the eBay fees, but still, wow, a Duka watch. But it's a very special watch. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Automatic watch with a domed sapphire crystal, 120 click unidirectional bezel. This watch is a bit unbelievable. I really can't believe that for $40 we can get something of this quality, and it doesn't homage just the usual subby or a Tudor. No. This is a very special homage to a watch that, well, I haven't seen any other homages on AliExpress to the IWC Aquatimer 2000. This watch is something special, and it's done to a very high standard. The sapphire crystal is domed, but the ceramic bezel is mirror flat and polished, which makes for exciting reflections and highlights. This Duka watch gets a loomed bezel as well, powered by the Seiko NH35 automatic movement for $40. Unbelievable. There are a few dial and bezel colors available, the blue, emerald green, and this black with the yellow highlights on the ceramic bezel insert and the minute hand. The look is absolutely striking. The bezel actually overhangs the case, its wide grooves provide the grip to enable rotation, which is heavy and smooth. The clicks are distinct yet muted. The feeling of holding a special watch sticks with you. It's a sizable timepiece though, with a diameter of just over 42 millimeters. So if we look at the whole picture, what can we see? Well, I lost $57 on these 6 watches. Again, these $57 do not include the eBay fees. If they did, that loss would stretch to about $70. And still, it's not bad, because even with the eBay fees, this loss still amounts to about 20% of the total value of the watches. And what that means is that when you are buying budget watches, say you are interested but you are not quite sure how they hold the value, well, all my watches I sell as used items, not brand new. They are used because they've been in a video review. And yet, they've only lost around 20 to 25% of the value. And that's with the eBay fees. If we take the eBay fees out of it, it's just 20%. That is not bad for budget watches. And let's just say that if you were going to compare that to middle-of-the-road Swiss watches, you'd be losing much more than 20% for used items, even if they are in very good nick. So rest assured, these watches do hold their value. If you did find any of these watches interesting in any sort of way, well, I've left the links to all of them in the description below the video, so check them out if you're after some sharp prices. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.